What's going on, guys? I'm Chifinado. Welcome back to Borderlands 3. We are going to farm for a relic from this guy, El Dragon Jr. over here in the Jacobs estate while I talk about some things. So, yeah, and if I get this really quickly, I think I might farm something else, probably Grave Ward, because they just nerfed him. Or not the Grave Ward. They just nerfed the pipe bomb, so the pipe bomb is no longer a viable option to one-shot the Grave Ward. But yeah, while we're doing this, I want to talk about, first off, my Twitch link is no longer... Ooh, still chugging. It's pretty irritating. My Twitch link is no longer going to be in the description because... apparently, YouTube is not recommending videos with Twitch links in the description, so that's a problem. So my Twitch link will from now on, be in the pinned comment, the first pinned comment on the video. So I just wanted to get that out there and let you guys know that. But the main discussion I want to talk about today is I want to talk about the longevity of Borderlands 3. There's been a lot of discussion on Reddit and stuff like that about the longevity of Borderlands 3 and whether the loot nerfs for Mayhem 3 were justified or not, and I personally think they were. It's hard to say, especially for developers for a game like this. It's hard to test for things like how fast we're going to kill bosses, what the difficulty is actually going to end up being. I do not think they anticipated us killing bosses so quickly through Mayhem 3. I have a feeling they were more anticipating the fact that we would have a harder time with Mayhem 3, but we're not. And when you think about it, if the bosses take like 5 to 10 minutes like they do in normal mode, with underlevel characters or not like maxed out super strong characters, 5 to 7 legendaries wouldn't be that big a deal. Wouldn't be that bad of that. That'd be a really good drop rate. 5 to 10 minutes, you get 5 legendaries, perfect. But when we're killing bosses in like 5 seconds or 30 seconds, only stopped by the fact that there's invincibility like immune phases, having the drop rate that high does not make any sense. And a lot of people are going to try and say that the loot nerf hurts the casual player, but when it comes right down to it... No, I didn't spawn this time. When it comes right down to it, the casual player is not in Mayhem 3 at all. I would go so far as to say that casual players aren't even done with the story yet. It's a 25-hour story, depending on how quickly you run through it. A casual player is like... They're like the person that gets to play 2 or 3 hours on the weekend. Not someone who's already put, 40, 50, 60, 100 hours into the game already. So like that's not if you're done with the story, if you're playing the end game of Borderlands 3, you're probably not a casual player. So as far as like, now that they nerfed the pipe bomb, yeah, you can't kill bosses in like 2 or 3 seconds, but I don't think that's true either, because even Amara has a build where she can just absolutely decimate bosses in seconds. Moze still has unlimited ammo. You could just pile a bunch of rockets on a boss and kill them that way. So I really don't think that the loot nerf is that big of a deal. But I also want to talk about balance and some of the skills and the strength of the characters. The strength of our characters is really high right now, way higher than I think in Borderlands 2. Borderlands 2, everyone's going to try and say that like Deputy Sal is the most overpowered Vault Hunter ever in any Borderlands, and that may be so, but oh god, why is my game running so badly? That may be so, but like the strength of our characters right now is insane. Just unlimited grenades and killing bosses in 2-3 seconds flat. It's insane. And while I don't want our characters to feel... Oh, you went flying. I don't want our characters to feel weak by any means. I want our characters to feel strong. But everyone except for Zane, seems to be at like an 11 out of 10. And I think they need to tone them down to like an 8 or 9 out of 10, and then get Zane up to an 8 or 9 or a 7 out of 10. But like, these builds are nuts, and I don't want to go into this Malawan takedown, this raid boss, and kill this boss in like 3 seconds. Like, that's so boring. The fun of this game is having to like grind and it's a challenge. That's my favorite part of this. And as much as like I know that Ultimate Vault Hunter mode and the OP levels weren't really the solution to being super overpowered, I do think that the game needs to be a little harder. I think M3, or if they add more Mayhem modes, need to be more difficult. Like, if Mayhem 3 bosses took 5 to 10 minutes, like I said before, the drop rate that they were originally at wouldn't be a big deal. That wouldn't be so high. But because we were killing bosses in like 10 seconds, 5 legendaries for 10 seconds isn't much of an investment on the game's part. And, you know, you want your time, you want the rewards for time to be equal. Getting hundreds of legendaries an hour is way too many legendaries. It's just too many. It's nuts how many legendaries we were getting. So I just think that Mayhem 3 needs to be harder. Moze and Flak and even Amara need to be brought down just a tiny bit. Moze's grenade spam is nuts. And I'm not saying get rid of Moze's grenade spam. I'm not saying neuter these characters. What I'm saying is Means of Destruction is the skill that gives Moze her grenades back. Every time she does splash damage or grenade damage, she has a chance to get her grenades back. Put a cooldown on it. Make it so she can only get 1 grenade back every 3 seconds. That doesn't ruin the build. That just slows it down a little bit. The build is still intact completely, but you don't get to throw as many grenades as you can press the button. Flak's crit build, I'm not even sure what they could do. I've seen people say that he can crit in his mode, but he doesn't deal extra damage. Which, that seems fairly reasonable. Doesn't deal extra... Why does he keep flying everywhere? He doesn't deal extra damage, but he can crit as many times as he wants. So he's not getting that 250 or 300, I think it's 250% extra melee damage. Crit damage, but he's getting to crit all the time, and I think that would be completely reasonable. I'm not saying we need to completely neuter these characters, but we need to bring their best stuff down a tiny bit, bring their worst stuff up a little bit, so it's all viable. Because right now Moses' mech is crap. It's useless. And then Flak's pets just die. They're just there to die over and over again, and maybe get you up if you ever go down. And then Zane's best ability is the fact that he can run fast. He's just Sonic. And I would love to see Zane get some crit stuff, because, you know, I want to see him deal more damage the more he's moving, deal extra damage during crits while he's moving, put a little bit of skill into his build, and make him kill stuff. Because he's not a bad mobber, but he's bad at bosses, and I'm not saying that he should kill bosses in 2 seconds like Flak and Moze can, but I don't know. It's just weird. I think we're in too powerful of a state right now. Because if they add levels, if we go to level 60, what's that going to do for us? Our builds are already ridiculously strong, and we're breezing through all this content like it's nothing. What's 10 points going to do for us? Nothing. I don't even know if there's anything. What does my build have right now that I could benefit from more points? I could go for more sustainment, so I get more lifesteal. Maybe I would go for Avatar, so I could phase slam twice. I like, what do we need? There's no other synergies that I see in these skill trees that more points would get to. I also want to talk about the fact that we might not be getting new Vault Hunters. The Borderlands show is a YouTube, it's on YouTube, and it's a podcast where I can't remember their names, but Kind of Funny Gaming, I think it's called, does like a podcast talking about Borderlands. They had Paul Sage on there, the lead designer of Borderlands 3, and he was they asked him if there was going to be more Vault Hunters like they did back in Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel where they added Vault Hunters, and Paul Sage said probably not. Not because, and this is because most people have a main Vault Hunter. They play on their main the most. I have put the most time into Amara. I started a flak yesterday on stream. And I have like a level 13 Zane. But I've put the most time into Amara, and I'll probably end up putting more time into Amara than I would anyone else, because, you know, everyone does that. They find their favorite, and they play them a bunch, and they, you know, they'll dabble in the other characters, and I'll for sure have max level of every character eventually. But Amara's my favorite right now, so I'm going to play her the most. And that's the data that they have, so instead of spending a bunch of money and time on designing new characters, getting new voice lines, rewriting dialogue for the entire game for new Vault Hunters, they're going to possibly rework skill trees or add skill trees to our current ones, which I think is really cool. Imagine by the end of this game's life cycle, if each character had 6 skill trees to choose from. That would be super sick, especially if they add possibly new action skills, because there's an action skill per skill tree right now. So if they add that, that'd be even cooler. If they expand on these characters, I think that's a good thing. It is kind of a bummer that there's no new Vault Hunters coming, because we got Krieg out of there. Krieg was one of my all-time favorite characters. The Handsome Jack Doppelganger for the pre-sequel was super cool. Gage is like a huge fan favorite. So like it does suck that we're probably not getting new Vault Hunters, but I hope they expand on these characters more. If they don't add new characters, I hope they expand on these characters much more. Did I get it? No. I'm trying to get a relic. There's a legendary relic this guy drops called the Dragon's Fire or something like that. It gives my melees a guaranteed chance to ignite enemies. So that's all I wanted to really talk about for Borderlands 3. I also wanted to talk to you guys about, like, I want to play some other games. I have a Call of Duty Modern Warfare video coming out soon. The audio got fucked up and I needed to fix it, so it's gonna sound really weird. My voice is probably gonna change in that video. It's just gonna be super super awkward, and it bums me out because I didn't know what was going on, and I recorded a bunch and then it ended before I could get more gameplay. And I do want to play that on stream and stuff like that. I had a good time. The 32v32 was super fun. So I will be having a COD video come out soon. But what other games do you want to see? What other stuff do you want to see in Borderlands? I'm trying to do a melee-only run with Amara. I've thought about doing challenges. If you got any challenges, let me know in the comments. Stuff like, you know, only white weapons for this boss. Other, you know, stuff like that. If you got any build ideas that you want me to try, let me know in the comments. I don't have all the max characters yet, but if there's a save editor, I could probably give myself max characters, although I don't necessarily want to do that. But for videos, I might try builds and stuff like that for you guys. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys want to see on the channel. And yeah, so let's kill this guy a couple more times. Nope, didn't show up. I swear this guy drops this legendary. I'm in Mayhem 3 and they really hit that drop rate, which doesn't bother me. Like, I remember playing Borderlands 2. I played Borderlands 2. When I was playing Borderlands 2, I farmed Veracitus the Invincible for like 6 hours straight once, and like I still don't have a fire interfacer on that game. I'm super bummed out about that. I've gotten corrosive. I got a corrosive and a slag. Those are the only 2 elemental interfaces I've ever gotten in Borderlands 2, and it bums me out because the fire and shock ones are the ones you want. Come on, Eldragon, come on. If you guys didn't know, this is a reference to Battleborn. Eldragon was a character in Battleborn, and this is supposed to be his son. Eldragon was one of my favorite characters. I think my favorite characters in Battleborn, as much as, you know, it's dead and really bums me out because Overwatch just swallowed it all up. Eldragon, Wrath, and who else? It was Eldragon, Wrath, and somebody else was my favorite characters. It's been so long since I played that game. Okay, one more try. If he shows up, if he shows up, he shows up. If he doesn't, he doesn't. And then I'll try. Oh, there he is. There you are. You gonna give it to me? Why do you freak out like that? Okay, we're gonna kill him one more time, and if he shows up, he shows up. If he doesn't, he doesn't. We'll see if he shows up. But yeah, thanks guys. Thanks you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget that like button. And let me know in the comments what other stuff you want to see in Borderlands, or if you want to see other games. Also, if you enjoy my content, consider subscribing and clicking that bell. Yeah, he didn't show up. That's a bummer. If you enjoy my content, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so YouTube actually shows you my uploads. Also, check out my Twitch channel where I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. I play Borderlands and other stuff. The link will be in the pinned comment because YouTube won't show links, won't suggest videos with Twitch links in the description. So go look in the pinned comment. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.